George Gebhardt, the subject is Riddle being punished. Hey guys, we know that Matt Riddle's out for a few months in rehab, but the storyline was that he got injured by Solo. He's now back and is wanting to get revenge on the Bloodline. So what does the WWE have him do in the 2 or 3 matches he's had against Solo since his return? Lose, and rather cleanly. And the last lesson this week's SmackDown, Solo beat him with a clothesline. Not the Samoan spike, but just a clothesline. This very odd storytelling, having the returning hero seeking revenge lose every match he's been involved in. We've seen Solo lose already to Cody, so they aren't protecting undefeated streak or anything. So this is just punishment for Riddle for failing drug policy, because otherwise none of this makes much sense from a storyline perspective. Very well could be. I don't, I'm not gonna like rule that out. Like, would you agree with that, Conan?
Yeah, it could be. Maybe they're checking his attitude. Maybe they're afraid that he might, go back to his ways. And they're just like, all right, right now we're not until you can prove to us that you're a professional and you want us, you're going to do what we asked to do. This is what's going to happen. And maybe they're also protecting Solo at the same time and getting him ready for an eventual split up with Roman.
Right. Next is some Leslie Sincere, and the subject is No Money, No Glow. What's good, K100 crew and Joe? While taking anything from the dirt sheet as fact would be a miss, it'd be interesting to learn that Naomi wouldn't be joining Mercedes FK, formerly known as Sasha Banks, down in New Japan. According to Meltzer, New Japan Wrestling does not have the budget to sign Naomi, as a lot of the money went into signing Mercedes. Kind of sucks for Naomi, as she had Mercedes back through their whole ordeal, but has gotten a short stick at the end. My question is, talent like Cody, Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder, and others have found success in independence and made a name for themselves. So do you think Naomi could do the same in women's independent wrestling? Thanks in advance, your boy Les. First of all, I would question this report that Dave Meltzer. Coney, you got to lower that. You got to mute.
My bad.
My take on this would be like, bro, this is the signing one. Like Naomi's asking for that much money that New Japan can't afford her. I think that's a very dubious report. Like, they could use her if they're using Sasha, because she's a pretty good worker. I don't know. That's kind of
I don't
weird.
think it's New Japan. Isn't it Stardom?
No, it says New Japan.
I think she's worked for both.
Well, if it's New Japan, you would think they have the money, right?
First of all, Joe, see if you can find that actual report, because if Leslie Sincere says that according to Meltzer, New Japan Wrestling does not have the budget to sign Naomi, if that's fake news, we're going to have to suspend Leslie Sincere from the mailbag. Okay? So try and find out if that's accurate, that Dave said that. All right, next is from Jared Avia, second email. This email, the second one was sent Tuesday, April 18th at 11:12 p.m. But it's still 2 emails this week, so he's going to be suspended from the mailbag for next week. Subject is Sid Vicious being paranoid and gullible. Hey, K100 fam. Hope everyone is doing okay. Wishing you the best with your health issues, K-Dog. Just wanted to ask about Sid. He was one of my favorite guys in the biz when I was a kid watching WWE and WCW. Bret Hart stated in an interview a long time ago that Sid had a good heart, but that he was an easy guy to rile up if you wanted to rib him about something. Bret stated that Sid was paranoid back when Bret was around the guy. Does the crew have any similar stories about Sid being paranoid back when you guys shared the same locker room with him? Do you guys have any stories of Sid being gullible for getting riled up so easily? Thank you very much, and that's the best from Jared. I got a story. So, there was an angle on TV, and Mark Madden said that on air said that Sid Vicious was playing a game of Monkey in the Middle. Have you ever heard that term before, Monkey in the Middle? Conan?
Yeah, and it's a kids game. Yeah,
kids game, right? After that, Sid confronted Madden and yelled at him and goes, "You called me a monkey." It's like, nobody call you a monkey. I said you played the game Monkey. But he was like paranoid. Like, that's my Sid paranoid and gullible story. That he thought Mark Madden called him a monkey when he was just saying he's playing a game of Monkey in the Middle. All right. You got any stories about Sid being gullible, Conan?
Yeah, I got going.
No, I do remember when I was in WWE, and Love Machine was a really good friend of Sid Vicious from when they were in NWA together, and he was just trying to tell him, look out for Ric Flair, because Flair's coming in and he's going to try to take your spot. And he was like, you think so? And Machine was like, I know so. And that's kind of what happened. But bro, I always thought, do you remember that old video disco where they brought Sid Vicious into NWA, and he was on a stage like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Remember? And he was kind of like on this rotating thing.
I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Joe?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, he looked like a freak, and I was like, who is this guy? He's incredible. I was always a big Sid Vicious fan, and then when I met him in person, he was a really cool guy. I liked it. I liked Sid.
I remember when he came in as a kid, exactly what you're talking about, Conan. Plus, he would just he did the power bomb, and I never saw it before. He would crush guys with it, and he was actually kind of athletic. He would come off the second with a leg drop and do jumping. He was really athletic when he started.
He had a great look, bro, and he looked like a freak. He was great.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I've seen different shoots where Hall and Nash, they wanted to bring Sid into WCW. Nash has repeatedly said Sid was money. Sid was money. Now I want to ask if you guys agreed, but obviously you did. So.
Sid was money.
Yeah. Next from JJ Claxton, subject is Conan Disco's fashion throughout the years. Hello, it is I, the man of many names, JJ Claxton. I love seeing old pictures of you guys during your old WCW days, and love seeing the type of clothing you wore. Very flamboyant and extravagant. Sadly, as the years pass by, your fashion statement changed to be more simple. Would we ever see Conan Disco wear some extravagant pieces again? Also, everyone go follow the TikTok page and support the boys and promote Mad Daddy Magic Menard's Twitch show, which is coming soon. All right, we'll do that. Well, bro, we're 50. We're almost 60 years old. And we're not going to dress like we did when we were 30. I mean, come on, JJ. Should I suspend him for that dumb question? Like he thinks nah. All right.
Well.
Next is from JG, and the subject is AEW new show. Hey fam, I can't believe AEW is starting up a new show. Rampage is the drizzle. While Dynamite is fun, feel-good show, there is no episodic storytelling week to week. What good is a new show going to do? Seriously, what is the point? Thanks, and that's from JG from New Jersey. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't. They need to make the shows they have better before they add more shows and dilute the product even more. So we've spoken about this ad nauseum on the show repeatedly. Cody, you have anything to add?
I actually saw the Rampage show this week because I wanted to see Jalisco versus Vikingo. It's only an hour. It's not as rushed as a Dynamite show where they're trying to stick all the 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag, but it's still not an interesting show.
Next is from Samganda Chanko, and the subject is Triple H. Is this the second one this week, or is this the first one? First one, right?
Chanka, I think that's a second. Yeah, let me see. That's a second one.
That's
a second one, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
it's the suspension. Yeah. Suspension. Subject is Triple H bringing back the wrestling business. Good day, K100 crew. Hope you're all doing well. Now, we all know Billy has no idea what he's talking about most of the time, but during one of his most psychotic breaks, he was making the point that Triple H's booking hasn't significantly changed or impacted the business. Yes, on a week-to-week basis, it's not 1985 Mid-South of the Attitude Era, but the show is better than it has been, and the characters being progressed as well as the stories. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but WWE's business recently has been hot. Ticket sales are booming, nearly sold out everywhere they go, including house shows, and the audience is getting younger, which shows they might actually be gaining new fans. According to Uncle Dave and Brandon Thurston, the Raw audience in particular is getting a lot younger than it has been, and the same for NXT, which has the oldest wrestling audience. My question is, do you think WWE will continue to grow and get hotter, or do you think this hot streak will die down? We've always said, and this is interesting that this is coming to fruition, that a lot of the content that they put on, okay, that me and Conan being 55 years old and stuff saying, we're like watching this and saying this isn't for us. Like they're obviously doing this to try to draw younger fans. And if that has actually worked, you can absolutely sacrifice content for your older fans that aren't going to be interested in a lot of this stuff to draw younger fans if it's working. And I would be hats off if they are drawing younger fans, because there's, like I said, me and Conan have said repeatedly on the show that this is not for us. That this is for kids, right? I mean, would you agree with that, Conan?
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess bro, when you got the metrics machines involved and you got the data that they have and they think, and then bro, they're successful. The business is doing well. They're reading the room right. Even though wrestling's not going to come back and be like what it was, and I think that's mainly because a lot of the guys don't really wrestle kind of like an older, like a more, I don't know. So wrestling's more acrobatic today, so it's going to be difficult to right.
Compared to what it was 3 or 5 years ago, it was terrible. And on top of that, the great usage of Bad Bunny, Pat McAfee.
Yes.
The Bloodline storyline, Sami Zayn, KO, the Dominic Ray thing. They've got a lot of hot shit going on, bro.
Right. They're hitting. It's like the perfect example. If they're a baseball team and you're looking at the top 9 and the 1 through 9, like 5 years ago there was maybe like one guy in the team that was hitting over 270. Mm-hmm. It's like now they're like 3, 4, and 5 hitters are really strong. It's like you got Trout, Ohtani, and like Judge. The rest of the guys maybe like hit around 230, but like the heart of your order is actually doing pretty well here. Yep. If your business is doing good. So I would say, like, if you look at like a baseball lineup, the lineup isn't that bad. It used to suck, right? So we can agree on that.